understand that it's flag football. Nobody's performing in front of scouts. Trying to get drafted. It's not a pro level game.
Dad, I got us. Oh!
I don't know which is funnier. Uh, Brett trying to strategize and come up with a team plan when he doesn't seem that great at sport or doesn't seem to quite understand the positions, or whether it's Zach trying to minimize the risk and is trying to, strategize on how many people are going to be on the field and how that's going to play out. Yeah, oh my god, it's hilarious. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, leave a comment, and definitely turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, After the Altar, Season 4, Episode 15. So you have Brett and Tiffany meet up with Marshall and his girlfriend Shay, and she does look pretty. She does look pretty. You can't take that away from her. And Marshall is sort of talking about the fact that in July it will be a year since they started dating. Apparently, she's the complete opposite to him, and he feels like she compliments him more. He feels that she appreciates him as a person, and so she's the complete opposite of Jackie. And he's happy in this relationship because he feels like they sort of have the same goals. And I don't know whether this was a good idea because I know their weddings were in April, if not in May. Yeah, in May. So if he started dating someone in July, I think Marshall should have waited. I think after everything he went through with Jackie and Josh, he should have waited. He should have done a bit of work first before moving on to somebody else. I don't know whether he's still dating this young lady or whether he's moved on to somebody else, but I think he should have waited because he went through a lot with Jackie, and I don't think jumping into another relationship before resolving what he had gone through with Jackie was a good idea. It seems they still have a very good relationship with the Browns, so they do play a game and they seem to be in a happy place, so that's good. And then you have Micah meet up with Irina and Shelby, and it's like, oh god, the evil triplets. Why do we have to see these girls? Why are they pretending to be better people than they were? There was this joke made about Megan Fox. Obviously, that's a reference to Zach, the compliment he gave Irina when they first met. And so it's like, if you two are saying you're better people, why then do we have to continue to bring up other people or anything that's in reference to other people if you're saying you have turned over in your leave? And I don't get where Micah was coming from, sort of talking about Paul and saying that there were mixed signals. He was still talking to her even though he was dating somebody else. And it's like, make it make sense. Paul has said that he went to see Micah wherever she was staying. They dated for some time, and then as soon as he landed back, Micah sent him a message to break up with him. So why is she now playing victim as though Paul led her on when he wasn't interested? I don't get that bit. I really don't. So I wonder whether she's saying that Paul was sort of playing her and his current girlfriend, whether she was doing that out of spite or whether she was doing that to get sympathy from the viewers that, oh, she's the innocent victim and Paul is leading her astray. I didn't get that bit. So Jackie meets up with Keisha, who's one of the girls from the pods, and they're just having a conversation. Apparently, Keisha was one of Jackie's core group of friends that she made in the pods, and so they've been in touch. They've been, they see each other regularly. They buy each other flowers. They just make sure they check in on each other. And apparently, Keisha is the girl that Marshall dated after Jackie. I think she's the girl that they were sort of alleging that he was trying to get the ring back so that he could propose to her. And it's like, even if he wanted to do that, you should have given him back the ring. That's just my opinion. She didn't need to keep it, especially if she had, her own man, Josh. Josh could have easily got her a ring of her own. She didn't need to hold on to Marshall's ring. I felt that was just done out of spite. And so Keisha was in her feelings because she had a conversation with Jackie saying that Marshall made it seem like they only had one date, but apparently their relationship was deeper than that. She did agree that she was the first person to reach out to Marshall because of their connection in the pods, just to check up on him and make sure he was okay after the split from Jackie. And for me, it's like, this is a bit awkward because Marshall is not here to defend himself. I wish, if you girls were going to have this conversation, I wish Marshall was there so that he could tell us his side, because all we're going by is he said, she said. And Marshall said it was one date. You say it was more than one date, or which could be true. But I would rather the two of you not discuss Marshall because it's not a good look. Because it just seems like you're both just sort of saying negative things about him out of spite because he's your ex. Jackie was saying, Marshall is not someone I'd have stopped and spoken to on the street, but Josh, I was like, I don't really see the difference between Marshall and Josh. Personally speaking, I think they look more or less the same. They just design some the same way. Um, I don't even see anything that would distinguish their personality differently. But that's just me. Maybe one is more well dressed, smart casual, and that one is more, I don't know, got a little bit more swag. I don't know. I don't know what it is about the two of them, but hey, it is what it is. Then you have Bliss meet up with Amber. So they're doing some shopping before Bliss goes on a honeymoon with Zach. And Amber's sort of talking about the fact that, she's realized that Paul wasn't it for her, and she's found somebody that she's dating that she met organically, and they seem to be really enjoying each other's company. And so it seems like it's a revisionist tour this after the altar. It seems everybody's trying to rewrite history. I don't like the comment that Amber made that, oh, Paul is a little boy because he's always avoiding me. I don't think she should have said that. If you're in a relationship and if you're happy, then you don't need to say anything mean or negative about your ex. I wish they would be the bigger person and just move on. And if they have nothing positive to say about their ex, then just leave it at that. I like the fact that this, after the altar, is bringing in more of the pod squad than just, the people that ended up going to Mexico, people that ended up getting married. So I like the fact that it's more diverse of a cast, which is something I think that stands out. Bliss is excited. Oh, I just found it strange that she said her dad said you'd get them a honeymoon if they were married past a year. And it's like, oh, Bliss, you didn't need to say that. Your dad has had negative, feedback from the fans already. You don't need to say anything else to make him seem as bad. But then it was also nice to hear that she and Zach have been traveling around North America. So, they're looking forward to going on their honeymoon to Europe, which they posted while they were in Europe. So it was amazing to watch them on their honeymoon. It was nice to see Chelsea and Kwame. They went to Chelsea's aunt's place, and obviously, all the women in her family were there. I didn't see any of the males. And so Kwame's brother and sister came, which was cute because everyone was asking for Kwame's sister. She's the life of the party, Barbara. So it was nice to see her there. And so they did have a conversation, and they sort of spoke about Kwame's mom and how they began the road to sort of mending the relationship or building a relationship between her and Chelsea, because apparently they spent Thanksgiving at Kwame's sister's house, and then Chelsea was able to write a card to sort of show her appreciation for Kwame and the impact Kwame has in her life and how much she loves him. And I think this was more for the show. I think that relationship has progressed. I don't want to believe that they're still having issues. I think maybe his mom was anxious because of the idea that any parent would be anxious if your child told you, I'm going to date someone for a few weeks and then we're going to get married. I think, especially if you've seen previous seasons and you've seen what SK did to his mom, you would not want to be embarrassed on national TV. But I think Chelsea is a different type of girl. She's someone who went into the show wanting to get married and really was willing to put in the work once she found her life partner. And Kwame was also looking for someone, and so that was the positive side of this, that this was a genuine connection, and these were two people that were looking for someone and were really serious about getting married. So I would like to believe that that relationship has progressed because of the way they were saying it. I think that relationship has so moved on, and they were trying to be delicate and sensitive as to how they described the relationship. Kwame spoke about, how he grew up with being looked after by his aunt with his siblings, and then he came to America when he was 8, and that was the first time sort of meeting his mom because she had left him as a 6-month-old. So it was nice to hear him talking about his family and, the struggles that they've had to face, and see how appreciative Chelsea's family were to the idea of how he grew up. And I like the fact that they acknowledge that the experiment is very challenging for any parent. So this was good because they made it seem like it wasn't just Kwame's family that struggled with it, but they also struggled with it. So this is something that they understand and are appreciative of the fact that there is now sort of a relationship being built, which I appreciate. I don't know why we had to see Josh and Jackie's place. It looks like a one bed, whatever it was, and the fact that they just brought two empty boxes to just pretend like they were moving in. I don't know whether they're actually moving in or whether they just did it just for the sake of making it feel like they're living together. And I don't get where Josh was coming from, because he says that he's not Mr. Steal Your Girl. It was the tequila talking, and he is someone who's serious. He's in this with Jackie, and he wants them to take things nice and slow, and they don't need a ring or to get married. And it's like, you went on the show to meet someone, live with them for 4 weeks, and then get married. And then suddenly you're saying you don't need a ring or you don't need to get married to have a relationship. Make it make sense. Are you really serious about Jackie, or do you like the idea of the perks that come with you being with Jackie? What is it? I didn't understand that comment. I didn't understand it, because if he really liked Jackie that much, if he really was serious about her, it's been a year, he would be thinking about proposing if she was the one. I think Jackie's more into this relationship than Josh is. That's just my opinion. Cute to see how the couples work and what actually makes them work, because you have Brett and Tiffany sort of trying to strategize on who's going to play which role, which position, and what's going to happen. And Brett is trying to, he's the team captain, but it seems his knowledge of football is not really that great. He didn't play any sports, he was an art student at school, so it's nice that Tiffany knows most of the stuff, so she's able to sort of compliment him and help him sort of come up with a plan of how he's going to run his team. Zach is the other team captain. And Zach, you can actually see the lawyer in him sort of risk assessing and trying to strategize on minimizing any harm. He talks about the fact that if anyone tackles his wife, it's going to be a problem. And it's like, oh my god, Bliss has to try and sort of mellow him, because I think he's too sort of analytical of the whole situation. He understands that there are love triangles there, and he knows that people still feel some type of way. And because of that, he's trying to minimize the number of people on the actual field. That way, people don't tackle each other or cause each other harm, and then sort of blame it on the number of people on the team. So it was cute to see. And so, when Brett arrives with Tiffany, then they sort of have a conversation with Zach, which I thought was the most hilarious thing. And it's I like the guys, the married guys especially. They come across as highly intelligent, and they have their way of communication, which is sort of, you can see their quirks as they speak, because of how Brett was trying to manage his team and how Zach is trying to minimize the rest, and then Kwame is all, sport, sport, sport. I want to win, I want to win. And so it was nice to see everybody come together. Yeah, you could still feel the tension, that there were some people that weren't comfortable, but they understood the concept behind the sport, that it's just something that's a team building thing, just to break down the walls and sort of release any tension people might have with other people. And Michael was saying, oh, she's not going to ignore Paul, she's going to speak to him if he wants to, but they'll see how things go. And you could see Paul was very awkward when he saw Shelby and sort of Micah and Irina arrive. And then when Josh and Jackie arrived, everybody was tense. Everybody. So Zach and Paul had to go and sort of greet them and sort of welcome them to the team, even though they were on Brett's team, and it's like, oh my god, this is going to be awkward, but hey, it is what it is. I like this for them. I like this. I like the fact that they just didn't go and sort of have a sit down meal and let's eat and but they did something that they thought would release the tension. People wouldn't feel very awkward, because it's a big field. So if you didn't feel comfortable around someone, you could always move away. So I like this. I personally think whoever did the casting for season 4 did an amazing job, because they had quite a diverse group of people. Yes, there were issues, which is going to happen when you have a number of people, but it's also nice to see that they have formed friendships, and there's no sort of tension like there was last season where people were targeting Cole. Yes, there is tension in regards to Marshall and Josh and Jackie's situation, but it's not like people are picking at someone and isolating anyone. They're trying to bring everybody together, which I really love. This is something that Bliss and Zach are always trying to do, which is trying to put a positive spin on everything. So that was nice to see. It was a great episode that I really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye, everyone.